You guys know the rules back there. When it gets quiet, we just go ahead and get started, and we'll start a minute early. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Grand Rapids Community College Board of Trustees meeting Monday, August 21, 2023. We begin our meeting with the, if we have any introduction of guests, do any trustees or you, President Lepper, have anyone you wish to introduce at this time?
Yes, I believe Sheila Jones, our interim provost and executive vice president, has an introduction of our new academic dean for the business and industry area.
I do, but he hasn't joined us yet. So, would you like me to read about him now or wait until he's here?
Is he joining us in person or?
He should be here in person, but I have a feeling in between his first day.
Was his intent to be here the entire meeting? If he's here the entire meeting, then we can just do it at the end.
I believe he is planning to be here.
Okay, let's do it at the end.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we can do it at the end, absolutely. Anyone else? Anyone else you want to introduce besides, you good?
No, I'm good,
Anybody?
thank you.
Anybody else? Any other trustees? Okay, then let's approve the agenda. This is the opportunity to move anything from our consent agenda to the regular agenda for additional consideration. Any additions or changes to the agenda as presented? Hearing none, a motion to approve the agenda, say aye. Oops, let's have a motion first. A motion to approve it. Support. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. We have two opportunities for public comment at all of our meetings. The first is opportunity for anyone who wishes to make comment on anything that's on our agenda. The second public comment is an opportunity to talk about anything that's college related. Is there anyone in our audience who wishes to step forward and address the board on any matter that relates to today's agenda? Seeing no one coming forward, we'll move on with our agenda. Takes us to monitoring reports. I'll call Lisa Freiberger to the podium for a financial update.
Thank you and good afternoon. Included in your packet are actually not July statements, but an updated June 30 statement. We don't typically provide July statements as a standalone statement for you because at this point in the year, most of the July activity is accrued back to our prior fiscal year. So we will, as we have done in the past, provide you July and August data together at your September board meeting. What is in your packet is an updated June 30 statement. We are going through our audit process now. Auditors from our independent auditing firm of Plant & Moran are on site working through all of our financial data. Actually, as we speak, they've been with us about a week. They will be presenting to you at your October board meeting, so you'll get a chance to talk with our partner and have them share the results of our financial audit with you directly at that time. A couple of things to note in the June statements. They are updated from what you have seen last time you reviewed June statements, very close to being final. There will probably be some minor adjustments between what is here and what you'll see in the actual annual audit report. A couple of things to point out here that you might be thinking or looking at as you're going through. First, we did receive a $4.8 million retirement payment. So when you look at the revenue from the state as well as our fringe benefit expense line, they are both significantly higher. That payment came in late spring, so after we did our budget adjustment or budget amendment that we brought to you in February. So both of those numbers, no net impact. Again, that was money that came from the state to us, and then we turned around and sent it back. So both the revenue line from the state and the fringe benefit expense line are higher by approximately $4.8 million. The other thing you will see is that our transfer number is higher. We have increased our transfers to both our parking fund and our plant fund as we look to close out the year. Parking, as we continue to provide repairs to the Bostwick ramp or ramp A, certainly looking at more actively investigating the next steps with that parking ramp. So that will, more to come on that, but we are starting to prepare for increased cost as we maintain that, and then potentially looking to what's next for that parking ramp. Other than that, we are actively, I said, in audit mode, so working through that process, and we are looking at where our current year revenues are coming in, and we'll bring you a more thorough update on that later in the fall. But certainly our state aid is higher than what we, by 0.5% than what we had planned. Our property taxes are coming in a little bit stronger than budget as well. And then enrollment is coming in nicely as well. So we will bring you more precise updates when we have them. But revenue for the current fiscal year that we are in now, 23-24, is strong. I don't have any other specific updates for you unless you have questions.
Questions, anyone?
Lisa, what accounts for the upgrade in our credit rating?
That's a great question. We had a very thorough process this year. It was an enhanced process. We had a significant pre-checklist that we needed to fill out that had a lot of data on it that we haven't provided before. We also, Todd and myself, our controller and myself, spent about 2.5 hours on the phone with the auditor from the credit rating agency. I think the process is a little bit enhanced. I think our strong financials certainly have added to that. Our stable outlook on enrollment, which is certainly, as we're looking towards the future, stable and or potentially starting to increase a little bit. Our property taxes are coming in very strong. Our state aid was at a great point, and our net assets are strong. And we've been able to hold those fairly steadily for the significant period of time, even if you pull out all of the federal stimulus money that came through. So lots of questions around the federal stimulus money and how we could recover from not having that. We were able to very clearly show how we use those resources and how we kept them separate from our annual ongoing operations so we didn't become reliant on them. And I think that was helpful as well.
Anyone else? So Lisa, I know you used the word encouraging when you said enrollment, and I know we're all reluctant to state right now what enrollment is going to be because there's so much movement that happens between now and opening day. However, we also know what it felt like on August 2022, a year ago, and how does our feeling today compare with our feeling a year ago when we look at enrollment? Are we smiling a bit? Are we really concerned? Are we anxious?
I, at this point in time, am fairly to very confident that we
Okay.
will hit our budget target,
Okay.
if not
All right.
exceed.
Sure.
I don't know if
We get
Dr.
that.
Lepper
We
has
get
more
that. So
he'd
it
like to
feels,
add.
the feeling is, we feel good right now.
I
That's
do,
good. Okay,
yes, from a
perfect.
financial standpoint, most
Perfect,
definitely.
perfect. Thank you.
The
Thank
next
you.
week will be an important
Sure.
week for us, but I'm very optimistic as well.
Yeah, good, good. All right. Anyone else? Hearing none, thank you very much, Lisa. We'll move on to updates. I do have one item that I want to update us on. Trustee Breinsma was encouraged by the ACCT CEO to serve on the ACCT Public Policy and Advocacy Committee, which I believe is a nice accolade for Trustee Breinsma to even be encouraged to do that, and it would be a very nice accolade for this college to have someone serving in that capacity. That does take a nominating process, which does require a motion from this board to nominate Trustee Breinsma to serve on the ACCT Public Policy and Advocacy Committee. I will accept a motion right now for that to happen.
So moved.
There's already support for that. Any conversation? Kathleen, maybe describe your willingness to do that, how you feel your voice will have impact at that 20, 30, 15,000 foot level, if you don't mind.
Not at all. Thank you so much for the nomination, the support. The word I would use is passion. I have a passion for how local, state, and federal laws and public policy decisions could help or can help and hinder our ability to serve our students here. We're in the business of lifting barriers to access and success. Because we all see the effect that education has on individuals' lives, families' lives, communities, state economy, national economy. And so I just have a passion for how decisions that are made on those levels, especially the federal level, affect our ability to serve our students. So thank you very much to my colleagues.
All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries, and we'll work together on getting that nomination to the
Thank
national
you.
office. Dr. Lepper?
Thank you. From my president's report and updates, I want to share with the board that as part of our commitment to the Higher Learning Commission, we go through a continuous improvement process. And one of the processes that we selected that started in 2017 and went till 2021 was the strengthening our systems of assessment for general education outcomes. This work was led by Dr. Sheila Jones. And so we have submitted our report and heard back from them successfully that they accept and endorse the work that we've done. There's not a formal resolution or approval. It's just kind of we recognize the work that you're doing and feel like it meets the spirit of what you said that you intended to do back in 2017. So we've done that successfully. Part of that is looking at the phasing out of over 70 combined general education learning outcomes known as JELOs, and institutional learning outcomes, and replacing them with 7 new JELOs, which that work has happened. So we've simplified our process in terms of having 70 to 7. There was a host of faculty and staff who participated under the leadership of Dr. Jones, but wanted to make the board aware of that has been provided by the Higher Learning Commission, and they endorse the work that we've completed. The second thing, another shout out to our nursing faculty, led by our nursing program director, Shelley Richter, and also our dean, Lisa Raddick, that we had 100% first-time pass rate for our associate degrees in nursing for our December 2022 graduate cohort. And as of the information I have here, 26 of our 29 spring graduates also passed on their first attempt, and we're waiting on the response for 3 others. So 100% pass rate on the first attempt in December, and we anticipate 100% for the group that graduated in the spring as well, and that's very impressive. That's uncommon, so kudos to our nursing faculty, to our academic dean for her leadership, but also a huge congratulations to our students who worked very, very hard to earn that. Want to make folks aware that we also hosted Representative Glanville and House Speaker Tate this past Tuesday in our AI Incubator Lab, which is being led by Dean Christy Hake. And they spent some time learning about the work that we're doing around AI. We opened that space about 2 weeks ago with some high-end computing. We've started doing some training with faculty, and we also have a student who's engaged in that process, and that will continue to unfold in the weeks and months to come, and Christy will keep us posted as we make more progress in utilizing AI at GRCC. Also just want to share with the board that Representative John Fitzgerald and 4 other representatives who sit on the Governor's Energy Reliability, Resilience, and Accountability Task Force held a community listening session at the Tassel MTech last week. It's one of several events being hosted around the state. We hosted that, and there was a large community turnout and participation for that event. And that concludes my report.
Oh, thank you. Any questions for Dr. Lepper? Seeing none, we'll move on. We do not have monitoring reports at our August meeting, so that moves us right to the approval of the consent items. I'll accept a motion, please, to approve the consent items that were in our agenda packet.
So moved.
Is there support for that?
Support.
Any discussion? Go ahead.
I actually have a question, but it can be after we vote.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Go ahead, Kathleen.
So one of the items in the consent agenda, the grants awarded, I would love to see, first of all, it's beautiful, and we're doing a great job securing grant money to assist with our operations and serving our students. I would love to see a third column there, if we could, showing the source of those grants. So the trio, the WIOA, all of it. That'd be great.
Thank you. Yeah, okay.
We'd be happy to do that.
Chuck says we'd be happy to do that, and Misty's writing that down, so I'm guessing it'll get done. So, thanks. Thanks. We're nearing the end of this very short meeting. That does take us to an opportunity for public comment on any matter that relates to college activity. If you are inclined to make public comment, just a couple of things we ask. One, just come to the podium and introduce yourself. And two, if you would keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. And then also know that it's not common for the board to deliberate public comment. So is there anyone in our audience who wishes to address the board on any matter at this time? Seeing none? Oh, okay, okay. Did you say no or yes? You're just leaving, okay, all right, okay, all right.
Is here now.
All right, sure. I'm going to invite then Sheila to come back to the podium and introduce our guest.
Thank you. And it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Claymon Moore, our new Dean of Business and Industry. Today is Clem's first day, so gets to end it here. But I wanted to share with everyone that Dr. Moore has over 20 years of experience in higher education, serving in multiple roles from adjunct professor to assistant and associate professor, business school dean, and HLC peer reviewer. From his former role as a business school dean, Dr. Moore brings experience in the direct oversight and accreditation of several of the programs housed in our School of Business and Industry. Dr. Moore has developed partnerships and garnered millions in funding to support and to sustain student internships, service learning projects, and the development of new programs. Dr. Moore has held roles, as in industry as an engineer, executive consultant, and entrepreneur in the automotive, telecommunications, and healthcare sectors. Clem and his wife, Nicole, are the proud parents of 4 sons and are coming to GRCC from the southeast side of the state. So again, join me in welcoming Dr. Moore
Welcome.
to GRCC.
Our hope is that someday we'll be celebrating your retirement as the Dean of Workforce Development here. So welcome to our family here. So on that note, any other comments that trustees wish to make before we adjourn? Hearing none, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.